And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Oh, I'm fired up about this one. We're going to react to The Roommates, which is a pretty awesome, flipping cool YouTube channel that has been coming up lately. For those of you who are basically in the self-development aspect of YouTube. And these guys are talking about a lot of cool stuff, but there's one thing we disagree on, and that's what I'm going to react on today. On the video they call Date as You're Leveling Up. It was just released yesterday. Haven't watched it at all, except for the first minute on Instagram, but let's watch it together, shall we? Let's go.
I don't want you guys to simply be these super smart, swole, good-looking, successful dudes who can't talk to women, who don't know how to hold a conversation, who have no dinner etiquette. I don't want those things, right? I want you to be holistic men, you know, skilled in every area of your life. Yo, what's good, fellas? This is Hafiz, and welcome to today's video. And guys, today's video is only for men who are leveling up. Only for men who are putting in the work.
What the heck does that mean? If you're watching this video, you want to develop, you want to grow, you want to level up. Every single one of us desires to level up and have that motivation, or should be. But I guess he's trying to motivate people to get going, I guess. Hold on.
Only for men who are grinding, who've watched my other content and are constantly improving themselves. This video is only for you guys. Those who are not putting in the work, those who are still wasting their time chasing women, watching porn, doing all types of unhealthy things. This video is not for you. Go watch another video. It's only for the men who are leveling up.
Okay, so I agree with that one, because there are tons of low-value guys that are basically, oh, I want to sleep with women, and so they basically, that's what they focus on, and they focus all of their time on it, and it's like, I want to take a check from the government, and I don't want to work at all. I just want to get laid. Like this, that's like the epitome of femininity. If you are trying to get laid, but you have no ambitions whatsoever in your life, that's like going from porn and massive ejaculation, and then you're just like, I want to sleep with women myself, and I don't want to just do porn, so they basically go out and do that. So completely agree with that, Hafiz. But he's talking basically to the guys that are actually progressing, actually growing, actually grinding, and, you know, putting in the effort of building businesses, right? Of working hard, which is really good. Good start.
And so somebody on Patreon recently reached out to me. Shout out to everybody rocking with me on Patreon. And he asked me a question about, he said, Hafiz, I'm grinding, you know, putting in the work. I'm going to the gym. I am eating healthy. I got a job, I'm saving money, you know, taking care of my physical avatar. I'm doing everything you told me to do, but I wonder if I should date in the process, or should I wait until I, you know, reach my perfect form and then date? And that was a great question, and I feel like a lot of you guys are wondering this, and I want to answer that question.
Do you know why they're wondering that question? Because it doesn't feel right. Someone who's on their grind, someone who's actually putting in the effort, knows the amount of distractions that are going on in his life. Like, literally, when you start the path towards success, everything is gonna, like, start moving in on you all at the same time. It's almost as if the universe wants to check if you're committed to your cause or not. Right? You set a goal, and then the universe is like, oh, we'll see about that. And then you're just like, damn, this is all of these things happening at the same time. There's a reason for that, because the universe wants to see if you're committed, if you're actually going to go through with it, if you're actually serious about your goal, right? Which means you're going to have all of these things happening all at the same time. You're going to be distracted. Let's keep going and see what it says.
And the quick answer is yes.
I say no, don't do it. He says yes.
Date as you level up. But it's a loaded answer, so I want to break it down so you have to watch this whole video so that you're not confused.
Of course it's a loaded answer. It's because it's wrong. Like, literally, I'm so excited to answer this.
Yes, date as you level up. So there's two things you need to understand. Remember, guys, I say level up everywhere. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. All the whole man, right? And we give you all kinds of resources. Part of leveling up emotionally is doing the healing.
So you see, there's 4 different things he said. What were they? Do you remember what those 4 things are? Physically, emotionally, was it mentally, and financially? Which one was how many were there again? Bro, we can barely remember 3 things at the same time. Okay? I'm not gonna manage to grow in each of those areas all at the same time every day, all day. Right? Why? Because success in every endeavor requires focus. I cannot stress this enough. You diversify. It's like you. The book what's it called? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen R. Covey. He talks about this so specifically. It's like one of the first things he explains and hammers down. Okay, Hafiz, you better read that book because he talks about cutting down trees. If you want to chop down 100 trees in the woods, what do? Do you chop one time on all of those 100 trees and then you return back to the first one afterwards? No. You cut down one tree 100 times first, right? 100 chops so that tree falls down. And then you go over to the next tree and then you bump, and then it collapses and falls down. Did you see what I'm talking about here? Focus and prioritize. What you need to prioritize are those things that allows you and that helps you in every single other aspect of your life afterwards. Okay? So you build up a system that causes you to more easily have success in every single area of your life after that. Because everything you start out in the beginning, it sucks because you suck, right? So it's like you're facing, okay, I've got a job, and then I've got a business, I've got my parents, I've got my family, I've got my religion, I've got my issues, the emotional baggage that I have from my childhood, and then on top of that, you want to throw a girlfriend. Oh, not only girlfriends, but multiple women that you text with throughout the day and chat with and trying to, get into a date with. Like, that's ridiculous. It literally is, because you're trying, all of these things you're struggling with. You don't know what to do. There's so many decisions to make. There's so many things to neglect and not neglect, and who should I and what should I prioritize? Oh my gosh, guys, just quit everything. Just say, I'm not going to do anything anymore. I'm done. I'm stopping every single thing in my life. I'm basically stripping my life naked, not yourself. My life is going to be completely eradicated. There's nothing else in my life except, for a time, money. That's it. Why? Should I explain this now or should we listen to more of Hafiz? Sorry, I'm interrupting. Bro, I'm going to listen to you more and then we'll talk more about what my suggestions are.
Don't forget, guys, we have a partnership with BetterHelp if you want counseling. Link in the description below. But also, leveling up emotionally is building up your emotional intelligence, building up your social skills. And that's what I want you guys to do. I don't want you guys to simply be these super smart, swole, good-looking, successful dudes who can't talk to women, who don't know how to hold a conversation, who have no dinner etiquette. I don't want those things, right? I want you to be holistic men, skilled in every area of your life. And I hope no one's offended by this joke, but there's always that stereotype of that, that Asian kid has a 4.0 GPA, 1600 SAT score, but he has no social skill because all his parents did was they told him to stay in the room all day, study. Nah, guys, that's not what I want.
Who's talking about grades? What does that have to do with anything? Not so ever. College is the worst waste of time you could ever do if you're trying to level up. That's one. And number two, if you're actually building businesses out there in front of other people throughout your entire day. Okay, I do have clients that spend a lot of time at home because they're on their computer, so they have a business, right? Wink, wink, blue eye stuff. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? My goal is for you guys, of course, also to have emotional intelligence. But if you follow my channel, you're automatically going to get emotional intelligence simply from understanding how our brains work, how psychology works, how men and women function, and why we do what we do. I teach that on this channel a lot. And if you don't know, then you haven't watched my channel. And check out my other channel as well. I've changed the name again to Women of High Value, okay? Just so that you can understand female nature as well. Because but I don't want you to date them yet. I think it's a freaking waste of time for you to date now while you still suck at everything. Okay? Why don't you just become good at one thing? One little thing. And I don't want it to be girls. He mentioned that in the beginning. He said, for those of you who are grinding, okay, you should be dating. Like, do you see, like, it's almost as those low-value men are focusing on one thing at a time, trying to get good with girls. Like, that's bad. What I'm trying to tell you is don't focus on just girls, but also don't have girls included in your business either. Right? I'm saying get good at the monetary aspect. A dude that's studying at school or reading and being on his computer or in his books all day, of course he's going to suck with people. That's just the given. But if you're actually trying to serve people out by having jobs and also out by building a business, you're going to have to talk to people. But you don't have to try and get them into bed with you, right? You can just try to get them to buy something from you, to buy a product, to buy your services, etc. That's automatically going to build your confidence. And if you're confident, guess what? Eventually, that's going to be easy to you to get good with girls eventually. Okay? Let's keep going.
You know what I mean? It's other levels of growth and maturation besides just having money and having a good body. You also need to be able to be social and have the ability to communicate, especially with the opposite sex. So I'm all for dating as you level up. But keyword, guys, dating. There's two types of dating, right? And when you're leveling up, dating is simply meeting women. That's all it is. It's not relationships. It's not commitment. It's not spending lavish money, not taking her on vacations. Dating is simply meeting women.
What the heck is the point of that? Like, what? Why? Okay, I get it. He has the aspect, and I agree with it, that he should not recommend anyone to get in a relationship. Why? Because the moment you get into a relationship with the woman, you immediately get connected to her cycle. Which means, when she is up, meaning her horny period and all that stuff, when she's normal, then you're going to be up and confident and everything's wonderful. But the week after comes her PMS. And that pretty much lasts for, 7 to 10 days because she's going to have her period as well. And you as a man, when you get into a relationship with a woman, you get connected to that. Why? How do you get connected? Because you don't feel the same things. But in many ways, you kind of do, because she's going to transfer that energy to you by basically communicating with you. Because if you're her boyfriend, then you're in a relationship with her. That means that you should take all of her problems to unload her of her burdens. Right? Okay, so I agree with him. He says, don't get involved in terms of relationships. Don't take her on trips. Don't spend money on girls other than dating. Well, guess what? Dating does cost money as well. Yes, you have this equality thing going on where you can go on dates and then the woman pays for her fair share and you pay for your fair share and you guys have a nice, wonderful time getting to know each other. But if you're not going to get that into a relationship, what's the freaking point of dating in the first place? You're literally spending time with someone else's wife. What's up with that? Why? Like, the majority of relationships, 95% of the time, will end in breakups. 95% of the time. You start a relationship with a woman, or even worse, you start dating a woman, 95% of the time, it's not going to work out. Why? Because of you. Because you suck. That's the only reason why a man goes on a date and then he doesn't manage to progress things further. Is because he sucks. Okay? It's like practicing a half-court shot on the basketball court. the first 1,000 times, right, that you try it, you're gonna miss, right? But then eventually you get better at it. I could have said 3-point shot because those are just as difficult for someone who doesn't play basketball at all, right? Because you'll miss, but eventually, oh, you made it. You don't want to do that. You want to be practicing without dating. And the way you practice is by building a business, building your confidence, building your ability to communicate with people by not talking to women at all until you figured yourself out first. Number one, money. Number two is pretty much business, right? They're kind of connected. And then you begin to now hire people to help you to get the skills that you need in order for you to progress faster on your journey. One, you hire a coach to make more money faster. You hire a coach, PT, in order for you to grow faster in terms of the body you desire. And you also hire a coach to help you talk to women. Because there are coaches who do that, right? And if you do that, then you're not going to struggle with women when you do try it. However, if you try focusing on all these things all at the same time, you're wasting time, man. You're not leveling up. It's ridiculous. You're going to take longer time to achieve your goals in every single category. Because it's the trees. You're chopping down the trees, but you're not chopping them down. You're just doing one chop on each tree and hoping that one of those trees will function eventually. They won't. Or it's going to take extremely, extremely long time.
Getting to know women, understanding women, enjoying female company. But like I said, guys, everything in life is about balance. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to...
No balance. I don't want balance at all. Take every principle to the extreme and see if it works. Do not try for balance in your life. He's basically saying now that you need to have balance in terms of all these different aspects of life. You need to make sure that you spend enough time, but not too much time. And then enough time and not too much time. And then eventually you'll find a balance. There's no such thing as balance in your life. You want to take every principle to the extreme and see if it works. I want you to work 80 hours a week with no aspect of thinking about women whatsoever. You're practicing semen retention. You're on your goal. You're on your drive. You're thinking about women. That's okay. As long as you're not watching porn and you're not, engaging, in order for you to get their numbers, or, you can communicate with girls. I'm not saying avoid them at all costs. I'm just saying don't try to date them. Just talk to them as if they're your sisters or as if they're your friends. And you don't want anything to move on beyond that. Because you don't have time for that crap. They've got something that we know for sure without any level of doubt is that women have more problems than men. Right? If you have all of these categories of life that you're struggling with, those are problems. And remember what I've said in the past, and I'm going to repeat it again because this is really good stuff. There's two different types of people in the world. You've got the problem stackers and the problem solvers. The problem stackers are those that take on too many problems before they can handle one of them. Right? Taking too many problems and then suddenly you're in the maze and you can't figure the way out and life is too hard and life is a bitch and then you die. No, don't do that. You want to be a problem solver, so you get a problem and you solve it once and for all. Number one thing I want you to solve that's going to be a problem for you for the rest of your life if you don't take care of it early on is money. Take care of it so you never ever have to worry about money ever again in your entire life. That's what we're all about. And you can just get to 100, 200K in US dollars in net worth and 10K, in monthly income, at least minimum, before you start the dating process with girls. Trust me, it's going to go so much faster if you neglect them for a time. And then the cool part about this is something I haven't mentioned yet, but I'm really passionate about. You need to date women that are younger than you. Right? You need to date women that are right now you suck, right? We know that. In 2.5 years, you're not going to suck that much. You're going to be way better at your game, at your business, at everything in life. Your emotional IQ and everything else is going to be top notch. Now compare. Would you want to date the women that you could attract when you sucked? Or do you want to attract women that are going to stay with you for life now that you're pretty awesome? Right? Does that mean that you're going to take that to the nth degree and say, well, then I'm not going to date before I'm, in 10, 15 years time? No, don't take it to that extreme, because you're going to lose motivation over a time. Like, our human brains are basically designed to not be able to look past the next 2 to 3 years. Okay? So I want you to get into the dating game within the next 2-3 years, as long as you fix your finances, right? Because if you do that and you get everything ready there, you're ready. You're ready to take that next step. And you just needed the extra motivation to neglect them for a time, and then now you're ready. Now you're ready, but you're not only ready for dating or having one woman in your life, you're ready for 3 women in your life. And why 3? Check out the rest of my channel. Check out the Women of High Value channel. Understand the 3 in love system that we teach. Which is basically, if you understand female nature, there is no reason whatsoever that you can't be your own personal Justin Bieber and attract massive amounts of women to you, and then you pick 3 best friends forever who desire you and who desire each other, and then you have them as your family for life. And you know how to treat them. You know how to take care of them because you've been taught by a coach. Does that make sense? You couldn't hire that coach if you didn't have money. So get your money right first, because then everything in life will just fall into place almost magically. Right?
It's these things. So my advice, every single guy, is that you want to give yourself goals before you date. So for example, I tell each guy, okay, let's say you're online dating, a guy likes to do online dating. I will say, after I finish reading a book, I will allow myself 35 minutes to swipe on Hinge.
Oh, no. Oh, I almost get shivers listening to this stuff. Do you know how much of a waste it is to look at women? Swipe, left swipe, left swipe. Like, why? Why? You could be contacting people. You could get business. You could be, focusing on yourself. You could like, oh my gosh. And these women, they're strangers. Like, they're...
Or Bumble or Tinder, right? So you give yourself the dating as a reward for your hard work, right? So if you're a guy, you say, you know what? My goal is to save $1,000. Once I hit $1,000, I'm gonna spend $50 from that $1,000 to go on a nice date.
This is such bad advice. Like, it's horrific advice. Not only this, I was mentioning earlier that you get into this dating mindset. These women are gonna be someone else's wives. Okay? If you date them, you're going to be tempted to sleep with them. Why? Because women expect you to sleep with them very quickly. Right? They do. And very often, I've heard tons of stories of women who get disappointed if they don't get laid on the first date. Believe it or not. But it doesn't happen very often that women sleep with you on the first date, but it's... Man, I don't even want to talk about this crap. This is a flippin' waste of time. Why am I even watching this video? This is ridiculous. Sleeping around, casual sexual relationships is literally it's Russian roulette for women. You know Russian roulette, right? You have 6, bullet holes. You put in a bullet, just one, into one of those holes. And then you put it to your head, okay? This is women practicing casual sexual relationships. Why? Because that one person that they sleep with might be the one that creates huge amounts of problems for them. Now, that might not be you, but it actually might be you. Because the more high value you are as a man, and then you choose to reject her because of whatever reason, oh, I want to need to focus on my business. Sorry for starting to date you, but now I don't want to talk to you anymore because I'm so busy because with my business. So you basically rejected her, and she was hoping that you'd be more interested, and now she doesn't understand why you rejected her. Why are you doing this to me? Why did you go on a date with me in the first place? Right? You're playing people by dating around. A date means that you have an interest in them for the long term, maybe. But basically what he's saying is that you should date around, date as much as possible, get to know women. But if you're getting to know women, they'll expect more from you. That's just what happens naturally. Every single relationship that you start always is going to have an exponential growth curve. You start a relationship with women, one date, and it was a really good date, she's going to expect you to call, isn't she? She's going to expect to be called again for a second date. And if she doesn't, she's massively disappointed. What did I do wrong on the first date? I hope I did blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why he hasn't called yet. And you just went on a date. You don't understand this because you're a guy. You can go on a date and forget all about this girl. But if you forget all about this girl, that's a rejection on this woman. Why would you do that to her? Right? Again, you're playing with someone else's future wife. Meaning you're wasting your time and your money. 95% of all the relationships you're going to get into, especially when you suck, won't lead to anywhere. Ever. Because there's three options. And I mentioned this on the Woman of High Value video last time. Option A is that she breaks up. That's what happens the majority of the time. So then you basically dated her, and then you dated her more because that's what she expected, but you guys also had fun, and then you go on more dates and more dates and more dates, and then she finds out how much you suck, and then she dumps your butt, right? And now, oh, that sucks, and now you're rejected, and now you're thinking about this at the same time as you're trying to build your business. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Option B is that you break up. This is the worst kind for women, where they now are screwed over by you breaking up with them. Because that's a sexual rejection. It's an opposite gender. There was supposed to be sexual attraction. There was sexual attraction because they went on a date. There's something, some sparks was going on. But then the guy, who was a high value guy, on his game, on his, streak, going somewhere, and he breaks up. The woman is like, what the hell just happened? I'm not good enough for him? Wow. Okay, that's great. And her self-worth diminishes as a result. And then option 3, which is you guys having a lifelong relationship together. Is that what you want right now? Really? At the beginning of your career, when you've got squat, when you suck, right? This is not the time to be thinking about women. It is the worst time in your life to be thinking about women. Now, the absolute worst time is when you're 12 years old. Okay? When you're 16 years old, it is a horrific time as well to be thinking about women. When you're 20 years old and you're thinking about women and you haven't gotten to 100K or 200K US dollars yet, it is a horrible time to think about dating women. Mark my words, you're screwing yourself and all the women that you're going on dates with, wasting everyone's precious time that they're never ever going to get back. What for? Tell me. Comment down below if you've got any objections. Because I don't think his reasoning is actually that good in this specific video. Like 98% of all the other videos of his are absolutely awesome. It's just this one, oh my gosh, I disagree with it 140%.
So you give yourself rewards for your work this way that you're not just focusing too much on the dating part, but at the same time, you are giving yourself something to look forward to for your hard work. Because like I said, guys, we're not here to make monks here.
Bro, have you seen some of those Shaolin monks and how much able they are to do what they do, in martial arts and all that stuff? Yeah, I'm just making, some jokes there. But the whole point that I'm saying is you want to become a master. And masters manage to go a prolonged period of time without thinking with their nuts, okay? You can do that too. Now, how are you going to be rewarded along the way? You only need a couple of hours every week hanging out with friends or, or doing your favorite hobby or talent, whatever it is. You don't need more than that. Are you feminine? Oh, you need social, you need dating, you need girls in your life? Come on, grow up, bitch. Like, literally. Let's get going. Let's get success, man. Let's move towards it. 80 hours a week. Distractions, be gone. There is nothing else. Let's focus on success. Trust me, you're gonna move faster than any other person who is swiping on Hinge and Bubble trying to figure out some dating potential.
We're here to make holistic men, so it's very important that you learn how to interact with women as well. So that's why also having a social life is important. One of my favorite heroes of all time is Gary Vee. Shout out Gary Vee, the living legend. And Gary Vee says his biggest mistake he made growing up, if he had one regret, and that was he didn't have enough fun in his 20s. Like I said, if you are in the hyperbolic time chamber, meaning you've watched my previous content and you level up, I don't want you guys to have that regret. Because my dad used to always tell me, and he used this old King James saying, was, "Oh young man, enjoy thy days of thy youth."
What the heck is going on? Oh, what? No. This is like basically saying, bro, you should drink, you should party, you should do all these stuff because basically you're only going to be young once. Let's waste away the most energetic time of your life on partying and on spending time with girls and on being with your friends. I have nothing against that. The only thing that I'm saying is, why don't you get the money side out of the way first? That's all I'm saying. It literally takes two, like I say to guys, they can get rid of their jobs once and for all for the rest of their life. They'll never have a job ever again other than their businesses, right? They can be their own bosses eventually, right? I say that in order for you to replace your income in terms of your jobs, so you'd never have a boss again, it takes approximately 18 to 30 months if you have a coach. If you don't have a coach, it could take a longer time. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know who you are, who's watching this video. But if you have a coach, it should never, ever take more than 18 to 30 months to replace your full-time job with a business income that provides for you well. Am I saying that you're going to be a millionaire by that time? Am I saying you're going to have 100K? Maybe not. I think you should, though, if you're focused. And if you do have that money, you will have fun during your 20s. Literally. Like, yeah, I agree that, going through your 20s and not enjoying, deep friendships and relationships, why would you go a day without connecting with other people? So I agree with that aspect of, like, connect with other people, dude. Of course. Like, that's what life is all about. If you don't have connections with other people, what are you doing? But you can connect with other people other than the dating pool, right? Because women mean problems. They're good problems once you've solved yourself. Once you've got confidence. Once you don't suck anymore, it's an intriguing problem. It's interesting. It's fun. It's exciting. But you got to prioritize, or else it's going to be you're going to have to pay the price for the fun that you have. And that price will literally cost you millions of dollars if you waste your time in your 20s trying to do everything all at once. One thing at a time, focus. Follow one course until successful. That course is fixing your business mindset and your social skills, right? People skills, all that stuff. I agree with that, but not with women. Put them away.
When you're young, you still want to have fun and you want to enjoy yourself, but in moderation. So guys, also have a social life.
Again, he does this moderation, balance thing. Bro, why? I've got clients right now who are 20 years old, 21, 22. They hate their lives. and let me explain here, because you guys won't understand if you haven't spoken to my clients. They hate their lives. I had one client today. This was hilarious. He was telling me that he was screaming in his car while he was making deliveries. And then he was just like thinking to himself, like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I listening to this Joseph dude? And like just the next day he talks to me and he tells me he's fired up outside his brain. Why is he fired up outside his brain? Because he knows I'm right. Because what I'm doing to him is I'm putting him in the situation of working 80 hours a week, okay? It was going to be approximately 60 or 70 if, working your jobs and then you're going to have your business on the side. But he's basically wondering, what am I doing? Why am I listening to my boss? Why am I doing this, service to these people? I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And when I hear this, I'm like, right on track. Yes, I'm basically making it so that he hates working for someone else. I want to get that inside your brain as freaking fast as possible. Work hard at having a job, working for someone else, so you hate it with a passion, so that you can move on to business and never, ever return to that lifestyle again. You'd rather go to prison than go back to having a job, because at least then you don't have to do anything. You just get paid. You just get whatever you want. Having a job is absolutely horrific if you do that for more than 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 years, 20 years. Could you imagine doing 45 years? I want people's lives to suck short term so that they understand the potential of joy, bliss, and happiness that comes from financial freedom, and setting that up first before anything else. Because once they have financial freedom, passive income that allows them to have their own time and get their own time back, that's a huge, huge thing. It is massive. You don't know. I managed to quit my job. I'm never, ever, ever going back to having a boss ever again. Ever. At 30 years old. That was my goal. My goal was to retire at 30. Well, I retired from having a job. I did not retire from working. But why would you ever want to retire from working ever anyway? You want to keep working until you're 120. Me, I want to go to work every single day until I die, man. Like, I want to be so passionate about my life and about what I do for a living that it fires me up to wake up every single day and solve this problem for humanity. And that's what I'm doing right now, actually. I'm fired up outside my brain, man. And I'm still telling you guys, don't date. Not yet. Get your finances done first.
There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, if I put in 70 hours of work this week, I'm going to go to the bar with my friend for an hour. If I made...
That's cool. That's fine. I don't have anything against that. Go to the... Do you have to do the bar, though? But go to the bar if that's where your friends are going. But eventually, what you're going to notice when you're on semen retention, you don't really want to go to the bar. Because those friends that go to the bar, they're not leveled up like you are, right? You'll notice that you actually have more fun with like-minded people who actually are going somewhere and who are also putting in the 70 to 80-hour work weeks, right? Chill with them and enjoy your time with them once a week. That's what I recommend.
15 sales at my position, I'm gonna go out for 45 minutes. At the end of this hyperbolic time chamber period, 1 year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, I want you to be better everywhere. You see, I'm much better at talking to women now at 30 than I was at 25 because I worked on it as well. So I don't want you guys to neglect those things. But remember, that should be a secondary thing.
Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, bro. Right now, just like I am, you're repeating yourself. I'm repeating myself. But are we going somewhere? Can we agree on something? We agree on something. We agree on the 70-hour work week, 80-hour work week, for sure. We agree that you need to reward yourself on your way to success. Absolutely, for sure. We agree that, that you need to take care of your financials and level up. Absolutely, we agree. Do we agree about the dating aspect? Not one bit. Not at all. Okay, he's 30 years old. He's done some amazing things with his business. He's doing great. He's looking great, right? He's got all these full, these pictures of himself, and that's awesome. But if you're 20 years old, man, I can promise you, you will be 10 times ahead of Hafiz. Pretty much only because he enjoyed his 20s and was spending time with girls. Okay? You know how long it took for him to get that body that he's now bragging about? It took him 12 months. Would that take you 12 months if you're free from your job in 2.5 years' time and you're 20 years old? Then you're 22 and a half. How long will it take you if you have a personal trainer? Take you maximum 6 months to get his body, right? I'm just basically saving you guys years of your life. If you learn how to prioritize, do one thing at a time, but do it well. Do it so well that you never ever have to go back and fix it because the system is already in place. The passive income is already running. I'm enjoying my life now because I can choose what I spend time on because I don't have to do anything, ever. That's a nice lifestyle. And after you finish your money side, you hire a coach to figure out the body side. You can do the body throughout the time you're building your business, but that's just for optimal health so that you can work well, right? But once you've achieved some good financial goals, then you hire coaches for PT, getting your nutrition right so you can build up in bulk, etc., etc. And that's when you begin to start the dating process with the coach by your side who can help you to speed up the process 10 times faster, 20 times faster than if you went out there and tried and failed on your own. Most probably like Hafiz did. I don't know. Does he talk about a coach anywhere? I only hear BetterHelp counseling. That's great for therapy, but man, you got to get some coaches, man.
As a bonus to your hard work. Life is all about having a healthy balance. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right?
I've heard that from my mom ever since I was a kid. And that's the one thing I was just like hearing my mom like, no. I don't like that. But I love working. I love setting massive goals. I love working towards achieving those goals, and I want them as fast as possible. And I'll reward myself along the way, of course, but just the vision itself. If I work on my vision enough, is a reward enough for me. I get fired up outside my brain when I anticipate the vision of getting what I want in just a few years' time. You don't need the weekly reward of a woman to go on a date with. You don't. And if you do, you're a girl, right? So let's grow up and let's get to business. Let's get going. Forget yourself. Forget your needs other than, what you actually need in order for you to do the 80 hours. Neglect everything else. Get your financials right.
But all play and no work makes Jack a very lazy boy, right? So you want to have a healthy balance. So that's why I really, really, really want to encourage you guys. Also have a social life. Also go on dates and do not neglect female interaction, because there's nothing wrong with desiring and experiencing female interaction as a young man. So
thank you so much for watching. Okay, by the way, Roommates, go check them out. Subscribe. You guys are awesome, Hafiz. You're awesome. And check their other videos out. I completely disagree with that one. I also disagree on another video that they have about... it was a guy named Jose Zuniga or something like that. He was talking about marriage and how guys should really get married, man. It's actually amazing. I'm going to do a reaction on that one as well. I love doing reactions on stuff that I disagree with. And I hope that you guys like that too. Why would you do a reaction video, something you agree with, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's see if there are any quotes. There you go. Hey, brother, how do you recommend breaking away from the females? I've got the opposite problem. Too many women. Yeah. How do you break away from them? Stop texting them. Like literally, stop. Why are you texting them in the first place? Get away from your phone when they're texting you, right? Focus. If you have too many women in your lives, you don't have a goal. Your only goal is the one that's between your legs and fulfilling that. Ridiculous. Grow up, become a man, and let's get going. This is the Men of High Value channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.